Here we deal the diagrams with equations. Coordinate system in form of quadrants. Coordinate is abscissa and y coordinate is ordinate. Plane is divided into 4 equal parts using 2 perpendicular lines. What are the distances from coordinate axis? With respect to y-axis, change the sign of x, where I will be discussing some of the interesting concepts. And to divide the plane into 4 equal parts, 2 is called as x coordinate. Other name for x coordinate is abscissa. Here x means distance of the point from y-axis. Welcome to the session, dear students. So in my last class I gave a brief introduction about the subject. Today we will be starting with a great chapter, that is coordinate geometry. So it's a new approach in mathematics. Here we deal the diagrams with equations. Coordinate geometry or analytical geometry, it's a special subject in mathematics wherein we'll convert diagrams to algebra. So we coordinate the geometry with algebra, and interesting facts of this and different types of problems we'll study. And students, dear students, don't think that geometry means we have to draw diagrams. Nothing. We have to analyze a draft diagram with equation. An interesting approach. So we'll start understanding the coordinate geometry, and first let me tell you how it helps you. In maths, every equation conveys a diagram. If I tell an equation 2x plus 3y equal to 4, it's a straight line. If I tell x square plus y square is equal to 25, it's a circle. Like that, every equation conveys a diagram. So to understand this, or to convert a diagram to equation and equation to diagram, we need a branch of mathematics, that is coordinate geometry. So now let us start this interesting topic, coordinate geometry. So as I told you, analytical geometry or coordinate geometry is a branch of mathematics which deals with the study of geometry through algebra. What is meant by geometry through algebra? Simple. Suppose if I tell y is equal to x, y is equal to x is a line, and if I take the plane and divide it into 4 equal parts, we call this as first quadrant, and the line will be going like this. Means the line divides exactly the first quadrant into 2 equal halves and makes 45 degrees. So this drawing is converted by this equation. That is the beauty of coordinate geometry or analytical geometry. Or if I tell say x square plus y square is equal to 25, x square plus y square is equal to 25, this equation conveys, it's a circle. So this is a circle and radius is 5 units. All these things you'll study in second PUC, and these things we'll study now. But what is the approach? The approach is simple. We want to convey diagrams through equations. Equations represents a diagram, and for a diagram we can write an equation. That is a speciality. It was introduced by French mathematician René Descartes. Now, the great effort of this great mathematician helped us a lot to convey many diagrams in terms of equations like this. And to convey the equations as diagrams in the form of equations, we should get good grip of this subject. So the basic of coordinate geometry is in your first PUC. That's what we are going to study. So get ready with your pen and book and understand what I am teaching. Apply it, trial, then you will understand the subject better. And this chapter helps you to understand second year PUC. This continues. Coordinate geometry in second year PUC also continues in the form of circles and parabolas we will be studying. So one of the interesting subject, and definitely in commercial maths also it will help you to analyze graphs. Graphs in 2 dimensions using x-axis and y-axis only will draw graphs. So we have to understand all those things. We'll see all those things. So now, very first topic what I want to discuss is coordinate system. So in this chapter, the first concept is coordinate system. What is coordinate system means? Using coordinate system, the very first concept is coordinate system in form of quadrants. We can divide the plane into 4 equal parts. So this is a plane I divided. Suppose this is the plane. I'll divide the plane into 4 equal parts, and I call this as first part, second part, third part, fourth part. Instead of calling it as part, we call it as quadrant. means 1/4 of the plane. This is another 1/4 of the plane. This is another 1/4 of the plane. So 4 equal parts. Each equal part is called as quadrant. And if I want to divide the plane into 4 equal parts, I have to use 2 perpendicular lines. You can see 2 perpendicular lines here. One YO Y dash. YO Y dash we call it as Y axis. And the other one XO X dash. XO X dash we call it as X axis. Let me start. So now the plane is divided into 4 equal parts. And first, second, third, fourth. This is the first quadrant, this is the second quadrant, this is third and fourth quadrant. And to divide the plane into 4 equal parts, we use 2 perpendicular lines like this, and each line is called as axis. Singular is axis and plural is axis. So axis is singular and axis is plural. Coming to the point, if you want to divide the plane into 4 equal parts, we use how many lines? 2 lines. How they are? They are perpendicular to each other. And these lines are called as vertical line is Y axis, horizontal line is X axis. Plane is divided into 4 equal parts using 2 perpendicular lines, and we call them as what? Axis. One is Y axis, the other one is X axis. And 4 equal part, each part is called as quadrant. And we have 4 quadrants. This is first quadrant, this is second, this is third, this is fourth. Means we are counting the quadrants in anti-clockwise direction. 1, 2, 3, 4. As I told, this is a basic. First, you should become thorough with this basics, because we will apply this in second year PUC. So once you are thorough with the coordinate system, then understanding the subject becomes easy. So now the very first concept what I taught you is what? Quadrant. What is quadrant? It's a equal, say, plane is divided into 4 equal parts. Each part we call it as what? Quadrant. How many quadrants do we have? 4 quadrants. What are they? First, second, third, fourth. And how to count the quadrants? Anti-clockwise direction. And to cut the plane or to divide the plane into 4 equal parts, how many lines will you use? 2 lines. What are the lines? X axis and Y axis. How the lines are? Perpendicular. Means always remember, X axis and Y axis are perpendicular. Means they cut each other by 90 degrees. This is the basics. Now, coming to the point. Now, if I give you a point, you should recognize which quadrant it belongs to. For that, first you should understand point plotting technique. We will see what is point plotting technique. Here I told you, this is first, second, third and fourth quadrant. And how to count? Anti-clockwise. And to cut the plane, how many lines we are using? 2 lines. What are they? X axis and Y axis. What is the angle between X axis and Y axis? They are perpendicular. This is 90. This is also one of the basic. And X axis and Y axis intersects at a point, we call it as O. O is called as origin. What is O called as? Origin. Origin is the point of intersection of X axis and Y axis. Now, here 2 perpendicular lines I told. One is X axis, the other one is Y axis. And point, how to represent a point in 2 dimension? A point in 2 dimension is represented by order pair containing x comma y, and the first one we call it as x coordinate. Other name for x coordinate is abscissa. So now I'll write a point. For example, a is equal to 2 comma 5. So here the first number what I wrote, 2 is called as x coordinate. Other name for x coordinate is abscissa. And y is called as y coordinate or just ordinate. Remember, other name for y coordinate is ordinate. Now here in this point, y coordinate or ordinate is 5. So this is y coordinate, this is x coordinate. How to represent a point? A point in a plane is represented as x comma y. We call it as 2 dimensions. So x axis and y axis. So that's why we represent a point in terms of x comma y, and we call x as abscissa. Other name for abscissa is what? X coordinate, and y as y coordinate, or we can also call it as abscissa. So x coordinate is abscissa and y coordinate is ordinate. Simple agi ordinate anta helidre enanta artha? It's a y coordinate anta. Now representation of a point also helps you to analyze its distance. Now I wrote a point here. You can see P x comma y. Here x means distance of the point from y axis. Here to here x. Suppose if I write this is a 3 comma 5, here to here it is 3, means distance of point from x axis is mod y and distance from y axis is mod x, opposite. So a point x comma y represents where mod x is distance from y axis, opposite, and mod y coordinate is distance from x axis. Now I will take some examples. I have taken a point here. What is the point I have taken? X comma y. Here what is x? Distance of the point from y axis. This is x. So on the x axis, this is x. Similarly, if I mention any point, suppose we will take a simple example. Say this is the axis system. So this is 0, this is 1, this is 2, this is 1, 2, 3. I will write a point here. This point is 2 comma 3. This point is 2 comma 3. I have written a point 2 comma 3. So if I draw perpendiculars, so here to here length is 2 because you can see on the x axis. Here to here length is what? 3. Distance of point from x axis is mod y. Distance of point from y axis is mod x. Now I will ask you, what is the distance of 5 comma 8? I have given a point B. What is point B? 5 comma 8. What is the distance from x axis? If I ask you distance from x axis, answer is y value. Always point is written as x comma y. So ಇಲ್ಲಿ 5 comma 8 ಬರ್ದಿದ್ದೇನೆ. So 5 comma 8 ಅಲ್ಲಿ first ಇದನ್ನ x coordinate ಅಂತೀವಿ, ಎರಡನೇದನ್ನ ಏನಂತೀವಿ? Y coordinate. And distance of this point from x axis is y value. So what is y value? 8. Distance of the point from x axis is y value. What is y value? 8. But I told mod 8. Mod 8 means 8, absolute value. So modulus function will be studying. So modulus means if they give negative, make it positive. All of you know distance cannot be negative. So therefore distance should be positive. So if the point contains any negative value, we have to convert that. I will show you. So now for time being, you should know how to represent a point. How to represent a point? X comma y. What is x called as? X coordinate, or we say abscissa. What is the other name for x coordinate? Abscissa. And what is y called as? Y coordinate, or other name is what? Ordinate. And if I write a point, in the point x value represents distance from y axis, y value represents distance from x axis, but we'll say mod x and mod y. Now quadrant system. If I write any point, some special points we'll discuss. First, point on x axis. If a point is on x axis, see, point is on x axis, it will be in the form x comma 0. If point is on x axis, it will be in what form? X comma 0. Means if I want you to represent 5 comma 0, 5 comma 0, you know x value is there, but y value is what? 0. If y value of the point is 0, it is an x axis. Otherwise, no, even point and y value 0, otherwise x value is anta. So now I will take, this is y axis, this is x axis, this is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So now if you want 5 comma 0, here you will have 5 comma 0. 5 comma 0 is a point on what axis? X axis, because its y value is 0. So any point on x axis will be in the form x comma 0. Similarly, can you tell me how a point on y axis will be? Point on y axis will be 0 comma y, means it will have y value, but its x value is 0. So I told how to represent 2 points, one point on x axis, the other point on y axis. How to represent point on x axis? X comma 0. How to represent point on y axis? 0 comma y. Now 0 comma 7. 0 comma 7 means its x value is 0, but y value is 7. So it's a point on what axis? Y axis. So 0 comma 7. So means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So at 7, we will say this is 0 comma 7. So point on x axis will be in the form x comma 0. Point on y axis will be in the form 0 comma y. And if point lies on both the axes, that is origin. Origin is 0 comma 0. What is origin? 0 comma 0. Now we will discuss sign of point, or if I give sign to the point and you should decide which quadrant it belongs to. How many quadrants we have? Exactly 4 quadrants. Point may belong to first, second, third or fourth quadrant. We will see. First I told you point on x axis will be in what form? X comma 0. Point on y axis 0 comma y. And point of intersection of x axis y axis is origin. Now if I give you a point you should be able to decide whether it belongs to first, second or third quadrant. If both x coordinate and y coordinate both are positive, for example, if I ask you to draw 2, 3, 2, 3 means x value is also positive, y value is also positive, then it belongs to first quadrant. All of you know, we have to count anti-clockwise. This is first quadrant, and then this is second quadrant, and this is third quadrant, and this is fourth quadrant. So now the point, what is the point I took? 2, 3 means x value 2, y value 3. X value 2 means 1, 2. Y value 3 means 1, 2, 3. So now point will be here. This is 2, 3, x2, y3. This is the point. You can see the point belongs in which quadrant? First quadrant. If both x value and y value are positive, if both x value and y value are positive, then the point will be in first quadrant. Point belongs to first quadrant if both x and y are positive. Then if x value is negative, so we call this as from origin, this is negative x-axis. If x is negative, y is positive. X is negative, y is positive, then the point belongs to second quadrant. Plus first quadrant, minus plus second quadrant. For example, minus 2, 3. Minus 2, 3 means x value from left side of origin we should count negative, minus 1, minus 2. So x is minus 2 and y is 1, 2, 3. This is minus 2, 3. Minus 2, 3 means negative, positive. So negative, positive means it belongs to which quadrant? Second quadrant. In second quadrant, x is negative and y is positive. If I give minus, plus, it belongs to which quadrant? Second quadrant. Third quadrant, if both are negative, see here x is also negative, y is also negative. Here y minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, like that will count. X and y both are negative. If x and y both are negative, then the point will be in third quadrant. If x and y both are negative, then the point belongs to what? Third quadrant. And x positive, y negative, fourth quadrant. X positive, y negative, fourth quadrant. So memorize this: plus, minus, minus, plus, minus. So first quadrant, both are plus. Second quadrant, x is negative, y is positive. Third quadrant, both are negative. Third quadrant is both are negative. Fourth quadrant, x is positive, y is negative. So remember this. If once you are thorough with this signs, then we can start with the problems. Now, first I told you how to represent a point. How to represent a point in 2 dimension? We represent a point in 2 dimension as x, y. What is x? X coordinate. Other name for x coordinate is abscissa. What is y? Y coordinate. Our other name is what? Ordinate. And if a point is on x axis, it will be in the form x, 0. Point ಏನಾದರೂ x axis ಮೇಲೆ ಇದ್ರೆ ಈ y value 0 ಆಗ್ಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ. It will be in the form x, 0. If point is on y axis, its x value will be 0. And origin means what? Point of intersection of both x axis and y axis. And we can decide whether the point belongs to x axis or y axis. Similarly, we can also decide whether it belongs to first, second, third or fourth quadrant. How to count the quadrants? You have to count the quadrants in anti-clockwise direction. So you know, in a clock, the needle of the clock rotates in this direction. This is clockwise. And now we count in like this, reverse. This is anti-clockwise. So plus, this is first quadrant, then second, then third, then fourth. How to count the quadrants? 1, 2, 3, 4. We have to count the quadrants in anti-clockwise direction. We have to count the quadrants in what direction? Anti-clockwise direction. For plus first quadrant, plus second quadrant, minus third quadrant, plus fourth quadrant. 4 quadrants. Got it? So now plus, minus, plus, minus. So remember this. Then if you know this, then we can decide or we can solve problems based on the points. Then reflection. Other name for reflection is image. So if I give a point, image of one point is other point. We can find image with respect to y-axis, where y-axis acts as mirror. Or we can find image with respect to x-axis acts as mirror. Or we can find image with respect to origin. 3 simple concepts. So now I will give you a point. Point is a, 2, 3. Point is in which quadrant? First quadrant, because both are positive. I'll take a simple point 2 comma 3. So this is the point. If I want you people to write its image or reflection with respect to x-axis, with respect to what axis? X-axis. This is x-axis. Means x-axis acts as mirror. Image of this means you should change y sign. X-axis means change the sign of y. So y value. So 2, 3. Is there a y value? Which is y coordinate? 3. So make it minus 3. That's it. Image of A is A dash. And plus minus. Plus minus means what? X positive, y negative. X positive, y negative means which quadrant? 4th quadrant. So its image. So you studied in your physics, optics, or in high school you studied, if there is a mirror, distance of the object in front of the mirror will be distance. So A dash. A dash, its x value. So this is 1 and 2. X value same irutte, but y value will become minus 3. So it came to which quadrant? 4th quadrant. So this is minus 1, minus 2, minus 3. All these things are, these are diagrammatical representation. Just if I ask you to find image with respect to y axis, change the x coordinate sign. If I ask you to find the image with respect to x axis, change the y coordinate sign. Now I'll give another point, say P. No need to draw always. P is 5 comma 4. P is what? 5 comma 4. If I want you to write image with respect to y axis, image with respect to y axis, change the sign of x. It will become minus 5 comma 4. Image with respect to y axis means y axis this acts as mirror and image comes here. Image of a point with x axis andre y sign na change ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. Image with respect to y axis means x sign na change ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಷ್ಟೇ. What we need to do? Change the sign of x coordinate if you want image with y axis. If you want image with respect to x axis, change the sign of y value. Y axis ಬೇಕು ಅಂದರೆ x opposite. And if you want the image with respect to origin, where is origin? This is a point of intersection. If you want to image with respect to origin, then you should change the sign of both the coordinates. Suppose what is the image of 2 comma 3 means with respect to origin. With respect to what? Origin. The image is minus 2, minus 3. What is the image? Minus 2, minus 3. So by this basics I have done. Now we will solve exercise 15.1. Let me repeat. Plane is divided into 4 equal parts using 2 perpendicular lines. We call the perpendicular lines as x-axis and y-axis, and the 4 equal parts we call them as quadrants, and we count the quadrants in anti-clockwise direction. First quadrant, second, third and fourth, and we can represent a point in the form of x comma y. X is called as x coordinate, other name for x coordinate is abscissa, and y is called as ordinate, other name for ordinate is y coordinate. And when you talk about any point, so the point may lie on x-axis, or point may lie on y-axis, or point may lie in first quadrant, or it may lie in second, or it may lie in third or fourth quadrant. All the possibilities. If both the signs x and y both are positive, the point will be in first quadrant. If x is negative and y is positive, second quadrant. If both are negative, third quadrant. If x is positive, y is negative, fourth quadrant. Now, reflection or image. If I give any point, image with respect to x-axis means change the sign of y coordinate. Image with respect to y-axis means change the sign of x coordinate. Image with respect to origin means change the sign of both x coordinate and y coordinate. That's it. Then now we'll go ahead with problems. All the types of problems we'll discuss in exercise 15.1. First, they're asking you to plot 2 comma 3, 3 comma minus 4. Different points they give. So this is first question, second question, third question. I compiled it, I made it one single question. They wanted to plot. First I'll divide the plane, take a pen, paper or pen and book, and in the page, divide the page into 4 equal parts using 2 perpendicular lines. 2 perpendicular lines. One is x-axis, the other one is y-axis. Where they intersect? They intersect at origin. This I call it as x dash, xo x dash x-axis, yo y dash y-axis. First job is take a book, take a pen, in your notebook, divide the page into 4 equal parts using 2 perpendicular lines. One is yo y dash called y-axis, the other one is xo x dash called x-axis. I hope all of you have done. Now plot the point. How to plot the point? First you should take scale. I will take for time being 1 centimeter is equal to 1 unit. You know, in high school you have done it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like that we'll plot. And here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it goes on. Here negative y-axis, -1, -2, -3, -4, -5. This is negative x-axis, -1, -2, -3, -4, it goes on. Now we will start answering the question. I will plot 2, 3. My dear students, 2, 3. 2 and 3 both are what? 2 and 3 both are positive. Positive, both are positive, lies in which quadrant? First quadrant. X value estiದೆ 2 ಇದೆ, y value 3 ಇದೆ. On x axis here we have 2. Observe. On y axis here we have 3. So draw perpendicular from 3 to 2. So they'll meet. So x value 2, y value, they'll meet at this point. This point is A, that is 2, 3. First point we got. Now while drawing I have drawn perpendiculars. So x axis ಮೇಲೆ 2 ತಗೊಳ್ಬೇಕು, y axis ಮೇಲೆ 3 ತಗೊಳ್ಬೇಕು. Draw a perpendicular, they meet, that is A. Now I'll erase this. Now we got the point. Any doubts? Then next they want B. What is B? 3, -4. X value 3, y value -4. On the x axis 3 is here. On the y axis -4. Y -4 means y negative y axis. So -1, -2, -3, y value is -4. X value is how much? Here point B 3 -4. So x value 3 is here, y value -4 is here. So if I draw perpendicular from 3 and -4, both will meet here. So this is point B. What is point B called as? -3 positive -4. You know, x positive, y negative means which quadrant? Fourth quadrant, we got it. Okay, on x axis 3, 1, 2, 3. And y axis -4. Y axis, negative y axis means down, -1, -2, -3. Draw perpendicular, it will meet here. And this perpendiculars you can retain or you can erase also, no problem. So now I got point B. I will erase this and this. Going ahead, what is the third point? 0, 5. Observe this. What is this? 0, 5. How to plot 0, 5? Here x coordinate is 0. If point has point, how to read point as x, y, but x value n ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ 0 ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. If point is having x coordinate 0, it lies on y axis. So on y axis at 5, at what 5? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is 0, 5. We call this C. C is what? 0, 5. 0, 5 is point on what axis? Y axis. How can I decide it is on y axis? Because its x value is 0. So now then -1, 4. Then what? -1, 4. X value -1, y value 4. So x value is -1 and y value is 4. So x -1 illide, y -4, y value is positive 4. Y value is 4 means here. So the point, if I draw from here and here, if I draw perpendicular, the meet here, this is D. What is D? -1, 4. We got D. So now I'll erase the perpendiculars. That's it. You can retain the perpendiculars also. Whatever they want, we have plotted. Here both are positive, that's why it is in first quadrant. Here x positive, y negative, so it is in fourth quadrant. Here x is 0, y is there, so it's a point on y axis. And here x negative, y positive, it is in second quadrant. If suppose if they ask you to draw -3, -3, both are negative. -3, -3 means x value -3. X value -3 means here. Y value -3 means here. The point comes here, -3, -3. What is the conclusion? Suppose if they ask you to plot E, if both are negative, fourth quadrant. So check the quadrant with sign also. So now I taught you how to plot the point. Any doubts? Suppose first 2, 3, x value is 2. On the x axis search for 2. 3 means on the y axis go for 3. And draw perpendiculars, they will meet at a point. This is A. Like that we have to do. We have done it. We'll go ahead with next problem. So now they are asking you to find which quadrant it belongs to. Simple. You know 4 quadrants. What are the 4 quadrants? First, second, third, fourth. They are in which direction? Anti-clockwise. And first, these are both are positive. Here, this is YO Y dash. This is XO X dash. In first, both are positive. In second, x is negative, y is positive. If you get negative positive, it is in this. Both are negative, third quadrant. X positive, y negative, fourth quadrant. See the sign and decide. So now first question. What is the first question they give? A 9 comma 8. So now both are positive. Do you agree? Positive positive means which quadrant? First quadrant. So answer is what? First quadrant. Next B. What is B? 3 comma minus 2. So x value is 3, y value is minus 2. 3 comma minus 2. So 3 comma minus 2 means what? Positive comma negative. X is positive but y is negative. X positive, y negative means which quadrant? Fourth quadrant. So answer is what? It is in fourth quadrant. Next C. Minus 4 minus 5. Minus 4 minus 5 means both are negative. Both are negative means which quadrant? Third quadrant. It belongs to what? Third quadrant. Then D, C, A, B, C they give, we decided. This is a problem from your textbook exercise 15.1, second one we have done. So directly both are positive, this is in first quadrant. Here x positive, y negative, third quadrant, sorry fourth quadrant, and this is third quadrant. That's it. Next we'll go to the next problem. What are the distances from coordinate axis? Coordinate axis is plural. What are the coordinate axes? One x axis, ಇನ್ನೊಂದು y axis. Means they are asking you to find distance from x axis and y axis. Question A. 3 comma 4. So simple concept, if you know, you can do it. See, if I give point x comma y, point ಏನಾದರೂ x y ಕೊಟ್ರೆ, distance of the point from x axis, distance from if I want x axis, answer is modulus y. Modulus means if it is negative, make it positive because distance cannot be negative. X axis andre mod y. If they ask you to find distance from y axis, it is mod x. Now I want distance of this from what? Coordinate axis. So both the axis. So now distance from x axis. X axis is modulus of y. Modulus of y means modulus of 4 is 4. Mod of positive is positive, but mod of negative you should make it positive because distance is always positive. Then distance from y axis. If you want to find distance from y axis, what is the formula? Mod x. That is modulus of 3. What is modulus of 3? 3. So now I have done this. Now we will go to the second one, B. For B, now distance of this point B, what is point B they give? 8 comma minus 7. You know, we read this as x, we read this as y. Distance from x axis is mod y, means mod of minus 7. Mod of minus 7 is 7 units. What is the distance of this point from x axis? X axis means you should take second value, y value. Modulus you should take because distance cannot be negative. So modulus means absolute value. So mod of minus 7 is what? 7. Modulus means if it is negative, it will make positive. If it is positive, it will be as it is. Mod 7 is also 7. Mod minus 7 is also positive 7. To convert negative to positive, we will use this modulus sign. Then distance of point from y axis is mod x. X value, x coordinate 8. Modulus of 8. Modulus of 8. Modulus of a positive number is positive. So means the point is having 8 units distance from y axis and 7 units distance from x axis. Third problem C. C is what? Minus 6 comma minus 6. Distance from y axis and x axis we need to find. Now distance of this from x axis is modulus of y. Y value is how much? This we call it as x. Second is y. Modulus of minus 6. What is modulus of minus 6? Plus 6. And what is the distance of the point from y axis? Mod x. What is mod x? Mod minus 6. Mod minus 6 is 6. 6 units. So now we got distances of all the points from coordinate axis. Coordinate axis means plural. Means x axis and y axis put together we call it as coordinate axis. That's it. I hope all of you understood this. Now we'll go to the next one. Find the coordinates of reflection. I told you other name for reflection is image. They may also ask you to find image. Image or reflection, both are same. The question is they want you to find the image with respect to x-axis, y-axis, origin for 1 point 3 images. So first A 2, 4 they gave. This is the point. Now I need to find image of this point. Image of one point is other point. But now first x-axis acts as mirror, means with respect to x-axis, then with respect to y-axis, then with respect to what? Origin. Simple. So now image or reflection in x-axis is same. Point reflection is another point. X-axis means x value change agala, but sign of y changes. Y is positive 4, now it will become minus 4. Image of a point with x-axis means y coordinate sign changes. Now reflection in y-axis, they want y-axis also of this point. So for this point, y-axis means y value will be same, second value will be same, but x will become negative. The sign of the x will changes. And reflection in origin, if you want to find reflection in origin for same 2, 4, both sign changes, minus 2, minus 4. So now reflection of 2, 4 with x-axis is 2, minus 4, with y-axis is minus 2, 4, with respect to origin is both the sign changes. Then B, question B. What is the question B they gave? Minus 3, 5. Reflection of this, reflection in x-axis. Reflection in x-axis is equal to, x-axis means x value will be same, but y value will become opposite. And reflection of the same point, minus 3, 5 in y-axis. In y-axis, if they ask, y-axis kedadaga, y value will be same, x value will become opposite. So x earlier it was minus 3, now it will become 3, and y will be same. With respect to y-axis, y coordinate 5 hange irutte, but x coordinate sign change agutte. With respect to y-axis, change the sign of x. With respect to x-axis, change the sign of y. And with respect to origin, reflection with origin or reflection in origin, ಅಥವಾ with respect to origin ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದಾಗ both the sign changes. Minus 3 becomes plus 3, 5 becomes minus 5. That's it. Now we have done reflection. So I hope all of you understood this. Next we have other interesting concept in my next class. I'll be waiting for you people, where I'll be discussing some of the interesting concepts related with distance between 2 points. That is, we are deriving distance formula in my next session. Before that, let us summarize. What is the first thing? How to represent a point? X comma y. What is the distance of this point from y-axis? Y-axis means mod x, x-axis means mod y. And what is a reflection? Reflection with x-axis is x will be same, y will become minus. A reflection with y-axis means what? Y will be same, but x will become negative. And origin means what? Both sign changes. And distances also I taught you, and I also taught you how to divide the plane into 4 equal parts. So by this we are concluding the first topic, and we have completed the exercise 15.1. So 15.1 is completely done. So I'll be waiting for you for my next session, where I'll be discussing distance formulae. I'll see you in my next session with distance formulae and problems related to that. Thanks for attending the session. Thank you.